All right, as promised, we are joined by one of our favorites, next-gen NHL analyst Frankie Corrado. Great to see you, buddy.
Yeah, great to see you.
Ilya Samsonov makes consecutive starts for the first time in over a month. He picked up that win in Seattle on Sunday. He gets the shutout win over a real good Jets team on Wednesday. Leafs Nation needs to know, Frankie, is Ilya back?
He's getting close. Like, every start has been better than the rest, and that's really important because you're seeing the progress out of Ilya Samsonov. And at this point, you have to give him a lot of credit because the season didn't start well. His game wasn't where he wanted it to be, wasn't where the team needed it to be. And this guy would have gone through some really dark times. A lot of people, myself included, were very critical of his game. And what did he do? He accepted his medicine. He went down to the minors. He's come back up. Now he's played well in basically every game since he's been back. And tonight against the Winnipeg Jets, he's the reason why they're able to win that game. He makes a big save on a 2-on-0 in this game. Jay, there was a point in the season where if it was a 2-on-1 against him, you could put the goal on the score sheet by the time the puck hit the blue line. That's how bad things had gone for Ilya Samsonov this season. But that was a really good performance from him. And that's exactly what the Leafs need. That's what the players on the team need, but that's what Ilya Samsonov needs more than anything. He's been battling to get himself back to this point. His confidence must have wavered a lot along the way, but that's a big-time performance for himself internally to look at and say, I still have it, and I can be a good goalie in the league.
You mentioned that 2-on-0. Sheldon Keefe saw his team mismanage the puck a lot in this game. They gave up that 2-0 with the man advantage, and then on the next man advantage, all of a sudden everyone notices that Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and Willie Nylander have been benched. Curious to get your thoughts on that move from Sheldon Keefe.
There's two things on that, okay? The message from Sheldon Keefe is the correct message. And I'm not going to say that Sheldon Keefe needs more from those guys. I would actually say he needs less from those guys. You can't stay out for 2 minutes and be tired at the end of the power play and in a tight game against Winnipeg give up a 2-on-0. These guys, and I'm sure they understand this, they live and die by the best players on this team. So if you're going to do things like that and leave your defenseman and Connor Timmins out to dry, who just got on the ice, your goaltender and Ilya Samsonov, the coach has the right to send this message to the players, whether they like it or not. Now, the power play, which is where this happened, that's been a whole other issue for the Leafs the last little while. And earlier on in the season, the mindset was they're going to attack more on the power play. They're not going to waste time on the perimeter of the ice. They're going to say, we're not reloading, we're attacking more. That hasn't been the case the last little stretch, and the power play has suffered because of it. But I like the message that Sheldon Keefe sends here by saying, it's not that we need more, we need better, and we need smarter because the team lives and dies by these star players every night.
Let's talk about the Winnipeg Jets. I know what you're saying, Winnipeg. Are you ever going to talk about the Jets? We're going to talk about them right now.
We love talking about the Jets.
We really do. I mean, they're such a great team. And this is the interesting thing. Rick Bowness, after this game, despite the loss, called it the best game of their current road trip. And I know a lot of Winnipeg reporters who've been covering the team agree with that, especially considering the star players that were out of the lineup.
Yeah, they just couldn't score tonight. They ran into Ilya Samsonov, who had a really good night. And you think about what they were up against. They're going up against the Leafs, who are really trying to find their game, a highly motivated team. They don't have Velarde. They don't have Scheifele. Josh Morrissey leaves this game, so they're not able to score. But it was that exact same effort that the Jets give you on a night-to-night basis. It's stingy defensively. They make it very difficult for teams to get to the interior of the ice. That was something Toronto had a hard time doing throughout this game. So the Jets get a point out of it. Obviously, you don't score a goal, but I would agree with Rick Bowness. That's a good game where you just don't get the result you wanted because you ran into a hot goaltender in Ilya Samsonov.
And speaking of hot goaltender, I mean, the Jets have probably the best goaltender in the league in Connor Hellebuyck. He did not play this game. Laurent Brossoit was really good in this game. Their goaltending situation is solidified.
They're very similar to Vancouver in that way, where it doesn't matter who's in the net, whether it's Demko or DeSmith, whether it's Hellebuyck or Brossoit. Both those goalies are going to give you a chance to win, and that's part of the success of those teams. There's not a big drop-off, and I would even say with both those teams, with Vancouver, with Winnipeg, it's the same kind of game night in and night out. It's predictable for the players, therefore it's predictable for the goaltender. So everyone's on the same page. Everyone has confidence in their team's ability to give an honest effort and have a chance to win the game.
You gave an honest effort on this show every time.
We don't try.
That's the key. We don't put an effort in. These two teams, the Leafs and Jets, by the way, one more game before their all-star breaks begin, and that's against each other, and that's Saturday, and that's in Winnipeg. Frankie, thanks for this.